All right, so it's one sleep away. Braai Day is here, Heritage Day, yes, where we get to enjoy all of our amazing South African heritage. And a big part of that, the modern South African heritage, we braai. We make a fire and we cook beautiful meat and other amazing meat-free dishes as well, I suppose. But what your braai has been missing, my friends, is this, a braai butter. Super easy to make. All you need is butter and some WOOLIES braai rubs or seasoning. That's simple. And these braai butters will take your meat, your pup, your ROOSTERKOEK to a whole new level. It's all about the crust on the steak, and this is going to take the crust to the stratosphere. Chef Clem, you look serious. You look all about the business.
I'm serious.
We've been sitting here trying to create a smoke vortex off our griddle pan. That's the level of where the guys are at this morning, okay? You've got two beautiful slabs of meat there. You taught me how to cook the perfect steak, and it's so far hasn't gone wrong. But this is going to take it to a whole different level of amazing. So where do we begin? What variations of our braai butter are we going to be making? And is it really as simple as the right seasoning and a butter?
Absolutely.
Boom.
Last Friday, I think it was, Raul, I made a beautiful fish dish where we infused the fish with butter with a whole lot of garlic in there, chilies in there, parsley in there. And basically what that's called is a compound butter. But that sounds too fancy, so we just call it flavored butters. So very
Braai
simple.
butters is better. Braai butter.
Call it braai butter. Yeah,
braai butter,
exactly.
with your buds.
The difference between the steak people make at home and then the steak at restaurants, well, we now know it's about the seasoning ahead of time.
Completely.
But they also have tricks. They also have different ways of finishing off a steak. So what they do is they either brush it with a little bit of a glaze, a barbecue glaze, or they use butters to enrich the flavour.
When was I going to unlock this secret?
Oh,
or is
Graham,
it happening today?
No, you're taking it home.
Is it
happening
today? Okay.
We'll see which one. Okay, I'm going to give you all of them, actually.
I thought I'd achieved master level status, but no, I was still the apprentice. I was still only the apprentice. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about
this.
So what I've done, I cooked up some sirloins, okay, and now I'm going to finish it up with some beautiful braai butter. So we've got some butter over here. And the thing about when you make braai butter is you always want your butter to be a little soft at room temperature.
Malleable, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite cold right now, so you might want a good tip.
You're a big, strong guy.
Hey. What I do is, if you want to like soften your butter, but not put it in the microwave, because sometimes it does melt unevenly.
It breaks down,
you put boiling water in a glass bowl, right?
Okay, like bain-marie vibes.
Let it sit there for like a minute to heat up the glass, and then pour off the water, keep the water for the plant, saving water, and then you put the bowl over the butter, and that heat that's in the bowl will soften your butter beautifully. So that's a good one. I like that.
We'll call it the igloo effect.
The igloo.
The igloo.
I like it. Okay, so we're going to go with some butter. And I also like that there's no recipe for this. It's what you feel like on the day.
That's what your vibe is.
Yeah. So butter going in. We're going to make our first butter for our steaks.
And you've gone with a sirloin here. I reckon a sirloin is the perfect balance for the braai because you've got fat, you've got some marbling, you've got a nice thick cut of meat as well, so you can kind of...
Absolutely.
You can vary whether, and everyone we know likes something slightly different. So some people like well done, some, and what I've found now is if you're going to be sharing a steak over the braai, rather slice it up afterwards so that people can select either kind of their juicier interior piece or maybe something from the outside that's a bit more well done.
Because, and I like that you brought this up, because I like my steak quite rare and my dad doesn't, right? So what I find if I do a sirloin, because of the shape, like it always has a point. Yeah. You cook it, you'll see the middle is quite rare, medium rare, whereas a point at the end will be a little more well done. So sirloin for me is the better steak to braai. Rump, people think rump is a lot fatty. We're talking about a steak conversation now.
Don't make the same mistake.
Don't make the mistake. People think that... someone in the background. People think that rump is quite fatty, because, I mean, you think rump...
It's got a line of fat, but it's...
You think, oh, I just smacked my comms. But rump is a little trickier to actually braai, because there's two different heads in rump. There are two different textures. So you'll find that one part will be tender, one will be slightly more overdone. I always say sirloin for the braai, or a giant porterhouse T-bone steak.
A ribeye.
Ribeye is absolutely the best, because that's really fatty.
And that's got the rivening, here
we go, putting you to work. This one is, all I've done is I've got the steak seasoning, the steak rub in this. This is great, not just on steak, chicken, lamb, go crazy.
It's lovely really smoky flavour.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to ask you to mash that up for a second while I move these out the way. We've spoken about these marinade bags. This is how you up your braai game. You basically put your meat in here, let it sit, and then tomorrow you come out and you braai.
It comes with the bag to put it in.
With the bag, with the marinade. WOOLIES have you covered. Okay, while you're doing that one, we said that's the butter for our steak.
Okay.
Oh, wow, look at this.
I love that smokiness. And no joke, man, you've got to get that seasoning on your steak as early as possible.
Yes.
It's so important. So regardless of whatever new additives you're doing, butters and beautiful things like that, you want to get your steak out of the freezer, out of the fridge, and get it to room temperature as quick as possible.
It makes all the difference in the world. Okay, next one we do is a pup butter for the braai, but it works perfectly for pup. So
like that.
Butter going in.
Because why must you be having a dull, drab pup?
No.
Spice it up, man. Flavor it up.
No, absolutely. So then we're going to hit it with a little bit of parsley. Sorry, this is actually for our roaster cook. Let's just jump forward, okay? We're going to do pup last. Roaster cook. So we've got some parsley going in.
Part of my apprentice training, man.
I love
fine.
it.
Just
I love it.
Throw it at me.
I love it. Then we've got the braai seasoning. Braai seasoning, and I shook it now on the camera. Braai seasoning is really great on roast potatoes. Just because it says braai doesn't mean it only has to be for braai. This on roast potatoes, next level. Okay, that with the parsley going on there. Get it in there. And again, as much as you like. If you want, you can add some garlic to this. You can add some chili to it. Absolutely make it your own. And then you mix. Where's my parsley one? I see it over there. Mix. Look, I'm fast forwarding. Graham, you've been working so hard.
Really, this is actually, I'm getting a bit of a sweat going here. This was tougher than I
don't know if I told you that I have a steak butter done and it's already on the steak. I'm sorry.
That's all part of my training, man. I'm like
absolutely.
Luke Skywalker sitting on a rock, making other rocks balance to get my master's.
Oh, man.
How's that looking? That's
looking so good. Okay.
Through.
As soon as the roaster cook comes off the braai, hit it with a dollop of that, let it melt all over.
And if you're going to make this, I would recommend, if you're going to put in all the effort, just make a large batch, put some cling foil over it, slap it in the freezer if you have to, or keep it, man.
And roll it into a little sausage, right? So as you need it, you cut little discs out of it, and then you put it down on your roaster cook, put it down on your steak, whatever you need. Okay, last one. Okay. We're going to do the pup one, okay? So this is a steak and chop seasoning, and I love when you buy a spice mix and you can see everything inside there. That makes all the difference in the world, so you know what you're getting. You know what you're putting on there. There's nothing...
It's exciting. Put it on the table, man, so your guests can be like, oh, I'll have me a little bit of that.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, right? If you're going to use spices and you're going to season a dish that you're working with, and especially if it's a grinder, never grind over the pot.
Oh, I love this.
Graham's in there. It's amazing. You can take that one home. So never season or grind salt or pepper, whatever it is, over the pot,
over
right?
The hot griddle, yeah.
There's moisture and steam coming up from the pot. What happens? It actually gets stuck inside the grinding mechanism and it clogs up the mechanism. And you're wondering why all of a sudden nothing is really coming out.
In your hand.
I love doing in the hand, and then the sprinkle. I love doing that. Okay, so what do we do?
Okay, so
steak and chops.
Some beautiful different kind of cracked peppers in there, mustard seeds. I'm loving that flavor profile.
I spoke to Raul and we spoke about, and you as well, talking about eating healthy, and the first thing that people do is they kind of start creating bland food. Spices will save you because...
There's very few calories in spices.
Exactly. That's going in there. You give it a good mix, and what you're going to end up with is this. And all you do when your puppy's done and still warm, you stir this through it. It is so good.
Work it in.
It is so good.
I love that.
Again, because it's a fat, it'll last so long in your fridge or freezer. So you should 100% go out and make this. Play around with the flavors.
Like you say, wrap it in some cling wrap in a nice little log shape. Yeah. Store it.
Pour some sauces in there, make it extra sticky. Great. What am I giving you today? I'm giving you this. I'm giving you this.
Really?
You just take it all.
Man.
You just take it all and you go home. Look at Nicole looking at me like, what?
Absolutely love it, man. Well, hopefully we've given you some inspiration. That's 3 different styles on a braai butter. One for your steak, one for your pup, and one for your braai broodjies, your roosterkoek. We've got you covered this Friday. So go and get creative out there. Explore this insane range of braai rubs, of braai spices, and braai sauces available at Woolies. And if you want this recipe, you can find it on expressoshow.com.
Want some steak?
Yeah.